ever tried to make your own lotion only to come back an hour later to see a separated oily soup? Or maybe you're stuck shaking your toner bottle every time because the essential oils float to the top. The problem isn't your recipe, the problem is physics. And also maybe your recipe. Oil and water do not like each other, but today we are going to force them together using a magical ingredient. Hi, I'm Katie from Simply Earth, and today we are doing a deep dive into emulsifying wax. I'm going to teach you exactly what they are, the difference between the two main types of emulsifiers, and exactly how to use them so that your DIYs turn out like products from a luxury spa. So what exactly is this stuff? Imagine that oil and water are a couple in a fight. They refuse to be in the same room. If you put them in a jar together, they are going to try to get as far apart from each other as possible. Emulsifying wax is the counselor. Scientifically, it works because these wax molecules have two ends to them. One loves water, hydrophilic, and the other end loves oil, lipophilic. When you melt this wax into your oil and water, it grabs onto both and holds on for dear life. And this creates an emulsion. This is how we turn a splash of water and a splash of almond oil into a thick, creamy, dreamy lotion. At Simply Earth, we carry two types of emulsifier, and while both combine oil and water together, they feel differently on your skin. And you need to know which one to pick. First up is what we call our standard emulsifying wax. It's also known as Olivem 1000. Like the name suggests, it is derived from olive oil. It is a natural plant-based complete emulsifier. Here's when to use it. When you're making face creams and body lotions, it creates a smooth, velvety texture. When you want deep hydration, it's great for sinking into the skin without feeling greasy. And thickening, it adds a nice body to your products. Think of this as your daily driver. If you are making a standard lotion or face cream, you want this Olivem 1000 emulsifying wax. Next, we have the heavy hitter conditioning emulsifying wax, also known as BTMS-50. And don't let the chemical name scare you, it is naturally derived from rapeseed oil. The magic here is that BTMS-50 is cationic. It's positively charged. Why does that matter? Your hair and your skin is naturally negatively charged. Because opposites attract, this conditioning emulsifying wax literally clings to your hair and your skin. Here's when to use it: when you are making a hair conditioner. This is the #1 ingredient for hair detanglers and hair conditioners. It gives hair that slip. Luxury lotions. If you want a lotion that feels really light and soft rather than oily, use this. I also love melting it into sugar scrubs to help the product melt off your skin. When you're ready to turn your emulsifying wax into a lotion, here's how to do it. First, you need the right tools. First, you need a thermometer. When we make an emulsified product, we combine oil and water together. These two mixtures first have to be heated up separately. Your oils and wax have to melt together, and your water mixture has to reach the same temperature as your oil mixtures in order for the emulsification to happen. If they're too far apart in temperature, the emulsion won't work and you'll end up with a failed lotion. The second tool you need is a stick blender or a milk frother. It doesn't work to mix lotion by hand with a whisk. You need an immersion blender, also known as a stick blender, or if you're making a small batch, a milk frother is great. Once you have your emulsifying wax and the right tools, you need the right method to create your emulsion. But before we heat up our ingredients, let's talk about stability. When you make a lotion with just emulsifying wax and just water, it can feel a little thin. If you want that store-bought creamy texture, you need a co-emulsifier. Two common co-emulsifiers that we have at Simply Earth are stearic acid and cetyl alcohol. You can think of stearic acid as a thickener. It helps create a luxurious, thick body butter texture. Cetyl alcohol adds slip. It adds some body to your lotion and glide. Those co-emulsifiers add stability to your product by making the emulsion stronger. You'll melt those co-emulsifiers with your emulsifying wax and any other butters and waxes you are using in your recipe. Once you have your oil mixture melted and your water mixture heated up, you need to make sure that their temperatures match, which is why we have that thermometer. You want both mixtures to be close to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. If they're not within the same temperature, the ingredients will separate and the emulsification will not happen. Once both mixtures are within 5 degrees of each other, it's time to blend them. To do this, we are going to pour our oil phase into our water phase. To To do that, we're first going to agitate the water phase. We'll stick our stick blender or milk frother into the water phase and begin blending. Next, we add our oil phase. You'll see it turn white instantly. Once it's turned white and mixed for a little bit, feel free to pause and scrape any oil mixture that hasn't made it into your water mixture yet. You want all of that oily goodness in your lotion to get the right consistency and texture. Then continue blending for a minute or two until it's completely combined. Once you blend it together, it's gonna look like milk. It's gonna be thin and white, and now it's time to stabilize it by cooling it down. If you let it cool naturally without an ice bath, sometimes gravity can grab hold of those fatty molecules and cause your emulsion to separate. So we want to stabilize it with that cool ice bath. While it's in the ice bath, continue to stir it until it cools down to room temperature. This shock cooling helps give your emulsion structure, giving you a glossier, more stable cream. Once it's cooled to at least below 113 degrees Fahrenheit, you can add your essential oils and preservative. And yes, any product that has water in it needs a preservative. Your lotion will continue to thicken for 24 hours. If you come back to your lotion the next day and found that it's separated, probably one of two things happened. One, your temperatures weren't close enough when you tried to combine your oil and water mixture together. Two, you didn't mix it vigorously enough, or you stopped mixing it once you put it in the ice bath. Remember to keep mixing it until it reaches room temperature or is at least below 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when it becomes more stable. And don't be afraid to experiment with your recipes. You can use these emulsifiers by themselves in a recipe, or you can even try them together. If you're ready to grab these emulsifying wax and make your own toxin-free skincare, check out the link in the description. I'll even share a cheat sheet with my favorite facial lotion recipe. And if you want to see this emulsifying wax in action, check out our Golden Glow Body Butter recipe. I'll see you in the next video.